if you have been paying attention to the news, you probably heard about the chairwoman of the Vạn Thịnh Phát group. Her name is Miss Trương Mỹ Lan. All right, she stole $12.5 billion from the bank SCB, and the police did the investigation. They finally issued the conclusion of that investigation, and now we know exactly how she stole that money. And today we're going to talk about exactly how she did it. I'm going to share that with you. Let's get into it.
Hey Tom, it's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. First I want to say congratulations on your YouTube channel. Everybody needs to follow your YouTube channel. So what everyone needs to do is subscribe to Tom Pang. Great guy, great person. Tom, keep up the great work.
So this is probably one of the biggest financial scandal in Vietnam since the beginning of our socialist republic. And basically, Miss Trương Mỹ Lan, who is the chairwoman of the Vạn Thịnh Phát group, she stole $12.5 billion. Billion dollars, that's many billions of Vietnamese dong. Probably like a lot. I can't do the math, but she stole a lot of money from the bank. And exactly how did she do it? Well, let me share with you what the police investigation found, all right? So her plan to rob the Vietnamese people started in 2011. You see, back in 2011, she already had a plan to purchase 3 banks here in Vietnam, and they are the Saigon Commercial Bank and 2 other banks, all right? She bought these 3 banks, but not under her name, because in Vietnam, you cannot be a majority shareholder of any bank. Apparently, any individual cannot own more than 5% of the bank. So what she did is she got family members and friends. She got a lot of people to buy shares of the bank, and in effect, she owned more than 90% of those banks. And in 2012, she merged those 3 banks into one bank, and that bank is called SCB. Probably know about that bank because that bank has branches everywhere, all right? After that's done, basically SCB Bank became Miss Trương Mỹ Lan's personal ATM machine, all right? Whenever she wanted money, she can basically just get money out of the bank. And how does she do it? Of course, in Vietnam, we also have a lot of financial regulations and rules. You cannot just go to the bank and get money out of the bank. If you want to apply for a loan, there are many rules and regulations around that. You gotta provide enough collaterals to get the money out of the bank, right? So Miss Trương Mỹ Lan got thousands of people to create thousands of companies. These are ghost companies. These are fake companies that operate under the Vạn Thịnh Phát group. And these fake companies would create these fake loan applications with maybe sometimes fake collaterals, fake properties, or even they use properties and they declare very high value, but they're actually very low value. They use these properties as collaterals to borrow money from the bank. And they have thousands of companies, thousands of people engaged in this fraud. And so they will apply for a loan. And because Miss Trương Mỹ Lan owned the bank and she has control over the bank, she owns basically more than 90% of the shares in SCB. You know, of course, the shares are owned by many people, but together they're actually controlled by Miss Trương Mỹ Lan. And Miss Trương Mỹ Lan will pay them very well, sometimes between 200 million dong to 500 million dong in monthly salary, so they would obey Miss Trương Mỹ Lan. So all these people that own the banks, they report to Trương Mỹ Lan. They will do whatever Miss Trương Mỹ Lan asks, and when Miss Trương Mỹ Lan want money, they would approve the loan. So they have thousands of companies, thousands of people applying for these loans, and when these loans are approved, they're deposited into other bank accounts, and then the money is withdrawn, right? They actually take the cash out. They take the cash money out, and Miss Trương Mỹ Lan's driver would go to the bank and get the money, get the cash, and put in the car and drive either to the Vạn Thịnh Phát group headquarters or her private home, and that's where they would unload the cash. So this has been happening since 2012 to 2022. So over the 10-year period, Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan actually withdrawn about $44 billion worth of money. And just to give you an idea how much Vietnamese dong that is, it is 1 quadrillion, okay? Quadrillion Vietnamese dong. That's like billion, trillion, and quadrillion. That is a lot of money, all right? So she got all this money from the bank by using fake loan applications. And all this money come from Vietnamese people. The Vietnamese people go to SCB thinking it's a good bank, and they put the money in the bank. They put their life savings in the bank. They put their cash in the bank. And unfortunately, Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan used the bank as her private ATM. So she just withdraw whatever money she wants. And basically, the amount she withdrawn equals to 91% of all money deposited at SCB. So this is a really huge scandal. It's a huge scam, huge fraud. And in fact, after all the financial calculations done, it is determined that Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan basically owed the bank about $12.53 billion, or about, I don't know, a lot of billions of dong, right? Probably hundreds of thousands of billions of dong, right? And that's a lot of money. And that money all come from the innocent Vietnamese depositors thinking that SCB is a good bank. They put their money there, and now the bank cannot pay them back. The bank doesn't have enough money to pay the depositor back because Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan took all the money. Now the question is, why would she do it? Of course, she used all those money to invest into her property project, into her real estate projects, probably for her personal benefit. It is really, in a sense, unbelievable that she would do this, because, you know, how would she not realize she would get caught? Because it is a matter of time this would come out, this would be discovered. And in fact, Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan did a good job in hiding all the facts, because banks do get inspections from the State Bank of Vietnam, and apparently she also bribed government officials so that they look the other way. They don't report the actual truth about SCB. They would report everything's fine, everything's good. So the government officials, the State Bank doesn't know anything that's happening at SCB. So she did all these things to fool everybody, and she got all this money to continue to expand her business. And probably, we don't know how she spent all that money, but probably also for her personal benefit as well. But you know, if you're gonna do something like this, you're gonna get caught. Now, this is why I do not recommend you to do anything illegal, unethical, or trying to rob the bank, because you are gonna get caught. There's just no way that you can get away with this. And I can't really understand why Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan would do this, because in her mind she must realize she will be caught one day, and it's just simply not worth it. And now she's in prison. Who knows what will happen to her? She's probably going to be in prison for a very long time. All right, so this is exactly how Ms. Trương Mỹ Lan will steal about $12.5 billion from the bank that she owns, SCB. All right, and probably we'll make more videos as more information comes out of this case. And I just find it fascinating and unbelievable at the same time. All right, take some fucking action. Don't ever rob a bank. That's stupid. And don't be a fucktard.